We will be looking at the case of Arnesh Kumar versus State of Bihar, which deals with Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code, which emphasizes on avoiding immediate arrest in cases of harassment of a woman against her husband and his relatives. These decisions are intended to prevent misuse of criminal law and to provide protection to the victims. Here we start. Arnesh Kumar vs. State of Bihar 2014. The Supreme Court's judgment in Arnesh Kumar vs. State of Bihar is a landmark decision that significantly curtailed the power of the police to make routine arrests, particularly in cases related to matrimonial disputes under Section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. The ruling aimed to prevent the misuse of this provision and protect individual liberty. Background of the case is the case stemmed from a matrimonial dispute. The appellant Arnesh Kumar had his anticipatory bail application rejected by the Session Court and the High Court. He was accused by his wife of offences under Section 498A of the IPC, husband or relative of husband of a woman subjecting her to cruelty, and Section 4 of the Dowry Prohibition Act 1961. Fearing arrest, he appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court used this case as an opportunity to address a much larger issue: the rampant misuse of Section 498A and the routine, mechanical arrest made by the police in such cases. The court noted that this provision intended to protect women had become a weapon for disgruntled wives to harass their husbands and in-laws. The court observed a rising trend of entire families, including elderly parents and distant relatives, being implicated and arrested without sufficient grounds. The core legal issue. The central legal question before the Supreme Court was whether an arrest is mandatory in all cases registered under Section 498A or other offences punishable with imprisonment of up to 7 years. The court sought to interpret the provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure concerning arrest, specifically Section 41, which outlines when a police officer may arrest without a warrant. The Supreme Court's rationale and judgment. The court delivered a powerful judgment emphasizing that arrest is not a default step in the investigation process. The bench, comprising Justice C. K. Prasad and Pinaki Chandra Ghosh, made several critical observations. First, misuse of law. The judgment acknowledged the phenomenal increase in matrimonial disputes and how Section 498A was being used as a weapon rather than a shield. Liberty is paramount. The court underscored that the power of arrest is a drastic one and should be exercised with caution and circumspection. It highlighted that an arrest brings humiliation, curtails freedom, and costs scars forever. Balance of powers. The judgment aimed to strike a balance between the need for effective investigation and the protection of an individual's liberty and dignity. Scrutiny of necessity. The court stressed that an arrest should not be made merely because it is lawful for the police to do so. The necessity for the arrest must be established based on the specific facts and circumstances of the case. Based on this reasoning, the Supreme Court issued a set of mandatory directions for the police and judicial magistrates to follow in all cases where the offence is punishable with imprisonment for a term up to 7 years. The 9 key directives, the Arnesh Kumar Guidelines, state governments to instruct police. All state governments were directed to instruct their police officers not to automatically arrest when a case under Section 498A IPC is registered. They must first satisfy themselves about the necessity for arrest under the parameters laid down in Section 41 of the CRPC. Checklist for the police officers. All police officers must be provided with a checklist containing the specified sub-clauses of Section 41 under Section 1, Subclause B. File checklist for magistrates. The police officer shall forward the duly filed checklist and furnish the reasons and materials which necessitated the arrest while producing the accused before the magistrate for further detention. Magistrate's duty to scrutiny. The magistrate, while authorizing detention of the accused, shall pursue the report furnished by the police officer and the only after recording its satisfaction, the magistrate will authorize detention. Written reasons for no arrest. If a decision is made not to arrest an accused, this decision must be forwarded to the magistrate in writing within 2 weeks from the date of the institution of the case. This period may be extended by the Superintendent of Police of the district for reasons to be recorded in writing. Notice of appearance. The accused must be served with a notice of appearance under Section 41A of the CRPC within 2 weeks from the date of the institution of the case. This period can also be extended by the Superintendent of Police for reasons to be recorded in writings. Consequences for police non-compliance. Failure on the part of the police officer to comply with these directions shall render the liable for departmental action, and they shall also be liable to be punished for contempt of court to be instituted before the High Court. Consequences for judicial non-compliance. If a judicial magistrate authorize detention without recording reasons, they shall be liable for departmental action by the appropriate High Court. General applicability. The court clarified that these directions do not apply only to cases under Section 498A IPC or the Dowry Prohibition Act, but to all cases where the offence is punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be less than 7 years or which may extend to 7 years, whether with or without a fine. Impact and legacy. The Arnesh Kumar judgment had a profound and lasting impact on criminal law in India. Curb and arbitrary arrest. It has significantly reduced the number of automatic arrests in matrimonial and other less severe criminal cases. Protection of liberty. It serves as a crucial safeguard for the fundamental rights to liberty enshrined in Article 21 of the Constitution. Increased accountability. The judgments has made both the police and the lower judiciary more accountable for their decisions regarding arrest and detention.